Good morning. Talking about muscle-centric medicine. That is, if we could take everything that benefits our bodies from building muscle, exercising, not just running, not just doing yoga, but especially loading the muscles, all right? And shout out to Dr. Gabrielle Leon, back in New York City. She just published a book. I think it's coming out. I have to pre-order it or order it wherever if it's out by the time we do this. So, muscle-centric medicine, I'm going to give her credit. And if you've listened to me on the Demand Better podcast, one of my favorite lines on there, stealing from her again, is muscle is the organ of longevity, right? The more muscle we have, the longer we will be avoiding falls, the better we will live our lives and have a freedom of movement. So I love these concepts. I want to, again, bring this back to the top of my practice, of the messaging here that we're talking about. And shout out to Wagner Football. That's my old 2001. I played 1 year there, defensive back. Anyone who has followed my career, shout that out. So still have a few friends I keep in touch with from Wagner. What up? Anyway, muscle-centric medicine. And here's the thing, right? I have this Fitness 101 program in my business, Fit Care Physio. So again, if you focus on your fitness, you can avoid health care. Muscle-centric medicine talks about that concept that, again, if we're moving towards building muscle, right? And that's really got to be all it is. Building your engine, your cardiovascular health is important as well, all right? And sometimes that can get overlooked, but it seems like muscle, again, the benefits of that far outweigh what's going to happen to us. We have sarcopenia, osteopenia, osteoporosis, all these things that happen as we age, and we start losing muscle mass at about 1% after the age of 40. I've heard it in different numbers there, but the point is, depending on how active you are, there is this loss of muscle, which is going to lead to, again, connections to some of these chronic diseases. All right. If you start taking a statin, if your lipids are high, all of these things that are very common, women dealing with premenopause and then menopause, all of these things, women dealing with pregnancy, right? If you're not building muscle, okay, it is the closest thing we have to a cure-all. All right. And again, I say that lightly, but also very strongly that if you're not building muscle, we're leaving a lot of money on the table. It's like not putting money in your retirement plan, okay? If you're planning for the future, you need muscle. If you're planning for the short term, we're talking about this year, rehab, right? I'm seeing a lot of patients recently. Almost every patient I see, a high percentage of them, if they move better, if they move more, if they load those movements, right? Those three things, that's the key. That's the key right there. Move better. That's going to come from working with someone who knows and understands how to break down movement patterns. So when you bring your arm over your head, I'm a little limited in the car here, but if I can't get my bicep to my ear here and I don't have full range of motion, or my lats are pulling or my low back compensates when I do that, right, that movement pattern is going to throw off something going on in my shoulder. I'm going to end up with a shoulder pain. Now I can't do the thing I love, which is throw the ball or whatever. And that becomes a problem. So move better. Someone has to look at that. If you want to go on that journey yourself, respect to you. But there are people here to help you move better. And then you want to start building up moving more. Again, one of the most common things is people, I don't have time to exercise, or I'm just going to pick this one thing like running or yoga or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if we keep looking at your vital signs, and shout out to Dr. Kelly Starrett and Juliet Starrett, who I've had on my podcast before, and just one of my favorite conversations there, talking about, again, we are born to move, built to move. I always mess up the title of their recent book, but at the end of the day, they talk about the fact that we have these vital signs, and I'll give them credit for that. Although, I think people have said that concept for a long time, but they're bringing it to light, which I gotta shout out again. Same concept as if you go to your doctor and you get your blood work done, your lipids are this, your vitamin D is that, a lot of these things are off, right? Same thing. If you're not able to get up and down off the floor without struggle at the age of 50, right, where are you going to be at 60, 70, etc.? So these are vital signs that we say, hey, like, that's a problem right there. And we see this time and time again. I know Kelly talks about hip internal rotation. If you don't have that motion, or you don't know what that is, and you've not looked at that, that's one that tends to be deficient and tends to lead to some hip pathology, again, pain in the hip and problems with the hip. So all these little things that we can do to be building better health. I'm going to leave this rant here. Appreciate if you've made it this far. Again, remember to move better, move more, and then load that so you get nice and strong, build that muscle mass. Talk to you guys next time. Get 1% better today. Hopefully this moves things in the right direction. And if you need help, contact me. Talk to you next time.